Hello, I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon. And if you're hearing this, that means you either didn't watch the Infernape episode or you decided to stick around with me, and if so, I appreciate you. So I 100% support the idea of Kingpin as a nickname. However, it's spelled with an I, not with an E. But I mean, I think it's a good name. You could also probably apply this to Haunch Crow if you wanted to. I don't know if we saw it for Haunch Crow at all, but yeah, like, I get it. Like, a suit. It makes sense. It works. I have zero complaints with it. We'll acknowledge Pacific. It's very rarely seen, but it is one of those nicknames you could throw onto any water type you want. Just use it as a generic nickname. And then there's your typical god shit right down there. King DDD I have written down. I've seen this in previous episodes, and yeah, it's basically kind of what I came to expect. There's quite a few suggestions I'm anticipating. I don't have a problem with DDD. The only thing about it is just, to me, DDD is such a comical looking penguin that it barely resembles a penguin to me. So I don't think of that, but I mean, I'm not gonna say, hey, it doesn't count. It's just, DDD's weird, but hey, if you like it and you want to go for it, go for it. Happy Feet was another one I had written down, was anticipating to see. Saw this in previous episodes before. It fits, it works, there's nothing extra to say, it's kind of what I came in expecting. Pingu is another one I had written down, and I even checked just to make sure I did, because I was like, if this isn't one of the most basic, you should expect this nickname when looking it up kind of results, I didn't know what to tell you. Pingu was one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. I just thought it was goofy as hell and I loved it. So there's one I was expecting. It works, it fits. There's another fictional penguin I'm still waiting to see. We haven't stumbled across yet. We'll acknowledge Tsunami. We've seen this plenty of times in the past before. Generic water type nickname you can throw onto anyone. Honest to God, I'm kind of surprised they haven't named an attack Tsunami yet. You'd really think by now they would. Here's another one of those examples where, like, it catches me off guard because I wasn't expecting it. Piplup made me smile because it's fucking stupid. Same thing with, like, Swagmar. It's stuff like this gets me sometimes. It's just, I'm not expecting it, and there it is. That's a funny name. It doesn't work when it evolves. Okay, so I saw this and started thinking instantly about Mortal Kombat, because obviously that's what they're going for. And then I was like, oh yeah, shit. Sub-Zero's animality isn't a penguin. That's Scorpion's. Yes. Did you know Scorpion's animality is him turning into a penguin and not a scorpion? That's great. So, I do feel like if you wanted to use Sub-Zero as a name, like, we often say, like, ice fighting, which the only ice fighting right now is the little Crabominable, which doesn't resemble Sub-Zero in any shape or form. But I think maybe a penguin or a polar bear, which is Sub-Zero's animality, would be better options. Also, I guess if you want to just call this one Scorpion, that'd be kind of funny too, because it'd confuse people, but people that played Mortal Kombat might get it. But yeah, Sub-Zero, I think now, really, that I sit down and think about it, I suppose penguins or Beartic would probably be the best choice for that nickname. I'm just going to acknowledge this. I don't remember the name of the character from Happy Feet, but I'm going to assume it's Mumble. So if that's the case, then there's another alternative for you. I saw Napoleon a couple times, and I was like, isn't that what the comment suggestion was? And yes, that was suggested by the comments. I don't particularly have a problem with it. It's whatever. So another comment in the same thread mentioned the penguins of Madagascar, and let me see how much I remember based off memory. Oh, I think I got them all. It was Skipper, Kowalski, Private, and Rico, which all individually might not be obvious, especially since most people just think of them as the penguins from Madagascar opposed to what their actual names are. So that's the one downside, but I knew what to look for. I'm undecided on how I feel about it as a nickname. It's up to you whether or not you think it's worth it, but go in with the mindset that probably no one is going to know that the penguins of Madagascar have names. Alright, going over it. We saw Poseidon over and over again on the Pokemon.net. It's just your typical... Hold on a sec, does he even acknowledge it? Named after the gods. For once he actually Gives credit and doesn't pretend that he made up Poseidon. Thank God for that. Yeah, just God shit. It's cliche. You see it all the fucking time. Arctic King, which isn't any good. Penqua, neat honk, combination of penguin and aqua. I thought it was Spanish. It looks like a Spanish word. Chill Bill, we've seen this in the past before, and it's way too clever for it to be something he came up with himself. Scald Queen, Scald Queen, Scald King, and Scaldra are all bad. So Chill Bill is a good one. I still like that one. And then everything else on here is trash. Piplup Longstocking. That doesn't fit! Just the word Longstocking is a little bit... That actually might fit. Longstocking by itself might fit. I'm fine with astronomy-based names. So I like the idea of Pluto. And now, what I really want there to be, because I don't think it exists yet, maybe the comments will remind me, you guys are good at that. An ice dog Pokemon would be perfect, because then it can both reference Mickey Mouse and space, and that would be the perfect one for Pluto. But I mean, in other words, just as for the planet, pick whoever the hell you want. But I would really like that extra meaning with Mickey Mouse. I think that'd be cool. Alright, we reached the bottom. We did not find the other one I was expecting to see. Anyway, the spreadsheet has 2 suggestions. Dawn, I understand that. Signature Trainer, that's fine. Barry also works for Signature Trainer. Chimchar does not have a Signature Trainer, by the way. It made finding the music very awkward. But to close things off with some suggestions, quite a few actually here weren't listed. DDD I was fine with, Happy Feet I was fine with, Pingu, I don't care if that one's a popular choice or not. I like it, damn it. So I'm fine with that. This one I saw on an Amino post way back early in. One of them was, I think it was Crump or Lord Crump, after the episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they get like sucked into the digital world, right? And then there's people that are literally turned into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And one of those was the Nightmare Penguin card, which I believe was personified by Crump, Lord Crump. That was like... Firstly, Yu-Gi-Oh's fucking weird. But like, I like that idea and I thought that was really cool. It might not translate the best in terms of nicknames, but I think that's a much better idea than just Nightmare Penguin. I feel like that's going to be the closest you're going to get to making that reference work. And then I also saw this in a previous letter, at least I'm 99% sure I did. Kid Cuisine, because their mascot is a penguin, and I think that's cute and I like that. Like, that's one of those things that I feel like you forget about, and then you're like, oh yeah! So I like the idea of that. And then the one I personally use, the other children's icon that I was expecting to see, Chili Willy. I feel like this one should have been an obvious choice. I'm literally surprised it wasn't on the first page of Google at all, but that was not there. Also, I forgot to do this because I tried to save my choice for the end. The comment suggestions, bringing this one back up for the 3rd time. Honest to God, I should have edited this photo better so it didn't have to be brought up 3 times. Riptide we've seen in the past before, a lot of times for just generic water type nicknames. There's nothing really extra to say about it, but hey, maybe if it appeals to you, there you go. And then after not counting his Bonaparte Napoleon reference, he also goes with Cooligan, which is the penguin enemies from New Super Mario Brothers, which I'm fine with. I like that. It's a good sounding name. It stands out. And Tuxie, which is the name of the penguins from Mario 64, and honest to God, that is the cutest fucking name. It might be basic as shit, but I think it's adorable and I love it. And yeah, that's another high favorite. I don't know why, I just find that adorable. And then Sherbert, Sherbertland. Sherbert, outside of just being like a reference to Mario 64, is also just working with the ice cream. So if you wanted to think of it that way, like, I mean, the go-to option if you're choosing ice cream, of course, is going to be Vanillux. But I mean, you could also just use Sherbert as just an ice type nickname if you wanted to. Which, why the fuck they made Empoleon a steel type and not an ice type, I will never know. That doesn't make any sense to me. What about it is made of metal? Please send the answers to me on a postcard. But that's it. So any other suggestions and ideas you have that weren't just listed there, feel free to provide in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good. Thank you to those of you who have helped contribute to this channel and provide more suggestions. This is about you as much as it is me, so I appreciate the feedback you guys give me.